The pitfalls of the digital media universe. We just got another hit. The hits just keep on coming.
Yep.
You know, the Wii U store just closed down. We covered that ad nauseum. We had the threats of the PlayStation 3 store, and then it is confirmed the Xbox 360 store is closing permanently July 29th of 2024.
Yes, so we got about a year till it closes, so that's plenty of time to get all the digital games you want, but it still sucks. The ending is near, it is coming, and it's, it just keeps coming, dude. Digital sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, how long are these companies supposed to support these storefronts? Can they do it forever? I mean, what's it cost them to do it? I mean, I think the store's been open almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's been open for a long time, and it is wild that it's still open, and then there's an Xbox One and Xbox Series X, so there's 3 generations of Xbox.
Yeah.
So it does make sense, but it does suck, you know?
Yeah, it's a unique time. I mean, and what this means is you can't get new stuff.
Yep.
So if you were just to find an Xbox 360 in August of 2024, and you had never had an Xbox 360 before, so you don't have an account, you can still play physical games on the console, but you're not going to be able to get DLC. You're not going to be able to download digital-only games.
Yes.
But if you already had that stuff, and you remember your login, that's the kicker.
You gotta remember your login.
Yeah, then you can still re-download the games that you have already purchased and the DLC.
For a while, I'm sure that will shut down eventually as well. And then also, TVs and movies that you buy on the 360 store are not going to be available either. So they're getting rid of all of that. They're getting rid of avatars. Like, all that stuff is shutting down. So it does suck. We're going to, like, in later videos, dive deep into the actual store and say, like, grab these games. Yeah. This is just an overall video. It's just, the end is freaking here, and I'm not surprised, but it just really sucks.
Yeah, I can't, it's just weird. We're in this space where you really are getting these consoles to play them in the moment, knowing that they're not going to be supported forever. And this was the first generation that this is an option to happen to you. You know, prior to this, if you had a PS2, a GameCube, and an original Xbox, who gives a shit if that stuff goes down? Because there was no online storefront you could play online.
Yeah, but there wasn't a digital storefront that offered, like, digital-only games or DLC and all this really cool stuff. Like, I remember when the 360 came out, I was a 360 kid. It was awesome, dude. Playing online, downloading stuff, you felt like you just could do everything on the 360 and the PS3. It was fantastic.
Yeah, some of this DLC stuff, too, that I think is going to bite people. We've talked about this when the PS3 store was threatening to close, but some of those map packs and stuff for the Call of Duty games.
Yes.
Now, if you already had them, that's fine. You're good. But if you just grab a 360 and you're like, dude, I remember playing Call of Duty back in the day. I didn't have a 360, so I don't have a login. You're not going to be able to get those old map packs and the DLC and that type of stuff. And that sucks because sometimes there were updates to maps that made the map different.
Yes.
And you'll only be able to ever play it that way if you have the DLC.
We played Doris in Nazi Zombies, and the updated version has a machine. It's very small. Most people don't care about it. It has a machine that offers you 3 guns. It's fantastic. Yep. But if you didn't have that DLC, you don't have that option. And so it does suck, and eventually that's going to go away, and it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
That really sucks because that's my favorite Nazi Zombie map.
I mean, you think of a lot of that stuff. I mean, the DLC for the Rock Band games, and there's tons of games have DLC.
There's so many games and so many updates and all this stuff. Obviously, this was the era that they were releasing like full games still, so you don't have to put in a game and wish for it to download and all that stuff. So it is nice, but there is extra content available. You do have a year.
Yep.
So I would start thinking about it. I would get on it. Maybe just start browsing the store. See if there's anything that you missed. See if there's anything that you want. Just start thinking about it. I mean, it's going to come quick.
There's one pitfall that I haven't heard anybody talk about, and it's not going to be an issue, I don't think, pertaining to this date. But once all support for the 360 goes away, being able to play original Xbox games on it might be a little tricky, because if you get a 360 that's completely factory reset, and you put it an Xbox game in it, it does trigger. You have to update the console to get that plug-in so that you can play original Xbox games.
Because originally it didn't, and then they did add it.
So
I wonder. Oh man, that's gonna really suck, because what's really awesome about the 360 is the backwards compatibility.
Yep.
That's fantastic. But then if that ever goes away, then that lessens the value of the console.
Yeah, and
dude, I didn't even think about
some of the OG Xbox games you can play on the 360. They are not backwards compatible on the Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles.
You can only play it on 360 or OG Xbox.
Yeah, so...
And most casual gamers don't want to have a ton of consoles.
Yeah.
We obviously do, and it's great, but That's really smart to bring up.
Yeah, I think that's gonna. Again, I don't think that's gonna go away. I think you'll still be able to update your console, everything as of July 29th of 2024.
But eventually it will. You know, it's gonna be like one of those things where you forgot about it, and then in a few years you're like, oh, I want to play this OG Xbox game, and you're gonna go, oh crap,
because
that sucks.
They have done that kind of with the Wii, right? When the Wii went offline, well, you can still download your stuff, and now you just can't do anything.
Now it's just completely erased. And then to tie into something that's kind of related, but it's not about video games, Netflix is now, speaking of digital media, they're shutting down their physical media distribution. They're shutting down DVDs, which makes sense, but also is shocking.
Yeah.
Because Netflix started off being just DVDs. They started off in like 1998 being a DVD, mail DVD company, which is wild. And then 2007, they started streaming. Streaming blew up. Streaming was fantastic. And now they're shutting it down, shutting the pin. I never did Netflix by mail. I only did streaming, but it does suck.
It's just unique, you know. It's only what I think you told me. It's like 0.05% of their revenue or something like that.
Yeah, from 2022,
or 0.5%.
0.5% of their revenue was the DVD. So it makes sense why they're shutting it down.
Yeah.
And they're shutting it down quick. It's going to be closed September 29th of this year. So in a month, that's going to be not an option. I'm sure there's not many people that use it, but say you live in a rural area that doesn't have really good internet access and streaming is a hassle for you, maybe you use Netflix by mail so you can get access to movies and you don't need internet to watch them.
Yeah.
You know, so that does suck. I know that Netflix is doing like a surprise if you order movies. They'll maybe send you like 10 extras just to get rid of their inventory because they have a ton. So that's kind of nice, but it does...
It's weird because I personally, I don't know anybody currently that gets the DVDs.
No,
I think it's a very small thing.
Yeah.
But the reason we wanted to bring it up is physical media, guys, is going through a major transition, and it's going away. Yeah. It is, and there will always be a little bit of a niche out there. I mean, vinyl records have seen a little bit of a resurgence. We're starting to see bands release stuff on cassette.
Cassettes, yeah.
And there will still be little companies out there, your limited run games and stuff doing physical. But you can clearly see that for the masses, for the average consumer, we're going to an all digital space, and the as awesome as that is, the drawbacks are that things like the Xbox 360 store can close forever, and if you don't remember your account information, your hard-earned money is gone. You pissed it down the drain.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you might have bought it 10 years ago, so you're like, I don't really remember that money, but still, you spent money on something that now you no longer own or have access to. I've been on a DVD kick lately, so I've been picking up a ton of DVDs, and it's so nice. Because obviously streaming is convenient, but it's so nice to just have physical media and I don't have to worry about internet. I can just put it in. You get the trailers, you get all this stuff, and it like timestamps the era when its stuff came out. It's just fun.
Yeah,
I love that, and I love being able to look at the shelf and see it. That's all that fun stuff about physical media is just slowly closing.
And you get the extras and all that.
Yeah, you get all
stuff.
this fun stuff.
So, just wanted to touch base on this. I know you already referred to it. We're going to do a deeper dive on the 360 stuff of where the value is. Is it worth jumping on there and getting anything? How do you preserve the games that you do have? Because, you know, maybe you haven't fired your 360 up for a long time. I do remember when the PS3 was threatening to close. That's going to happen. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I'm sure that this announced, they'll announce it.
But for us to back everything up and get stuff on a second PS3, like... I didn't remember my password from back in 2007 or whenever the hell I got it. I finally figured it out, but a lot of people don't remember all that stuff.
Yeah, because that's a long time ago. That's like 15 years ago. So it will take time. I'm glad they give you at least a year to figure stuff out. But it's one of those things, just keep it in the back of your mind. Keep thinking about it because it will be here before you know it. And if you forget about it, you're going to go, oh, crap.
Yeah,
it's over.
I think my main advice would be in any situation like this is there a game that you're going to want to be able to play for a long time? Like, do you have a college buddy that comes into town once a year and you guys have to play Call of Duty, and it's that specific game and that specific map that you guys played and had so much fun with? Or is it this song in Rock Band that we have to be able to get the band together and play again, but it was DLC? You want to get that type of stuff loaded up.
Preserve it because it's gonna be gone. Yeah, and that it just really sucks.
Yep. The state of preservation of video games and physical media just keeps taking hits upon hits upon hits. But we have a little time. What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts on the situation in the comments section below, and stay tuned to the channel as we'll dive into this a little further in the coming weeks. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Farewell, old friend. The Xbox 360 store. It's been a fun run. We have a year left, but we're going to have to say goodbye forever in July of 2024.